Well, how to use religion to bridge the gaps. One of the things that I learned very early on in my practice was a teaching from our founder, Nichiren Shonin, when he said that if the minds of living beings are impure, their land is also impure. But if their minds are pure, so is their land. There are not two lands, pure or impure, in themselves. The difference lies solely in the good or evil of our minds. And as you may know, Buddhism is centered on mindful practices and developing oneself. And in spite of all of the conflicts that exist among us in various religions, I think we all have them internally and externally because of a lack of fundamental understanding of the true teachings that are found in each of our paths. When I look at what's happening in this country, and it's all based allegedly on Christianity, it's not the Christianity that I know. And when I see the global conflicts that are going on now, like the Muslims and the Buddhists and the Hindus and the Muslims and Christians and Jews and Palestinians and Jews, it's all based on a fundamental lack of respect for living beings, for the power of othering others in order to feel better about self. The Buddha said in the Lotus Sutra, I see all living beings equally. I have no partiality for them. There is not this one or that one to me. I transcend love and hatred. And he always speaks about the fact that the teachings are there for everyone. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us as faith leaders, and no matter whatever tradition that we find ourselves in, that we are advocating and modeling the behavior that we hope to see and that the teachings demand of us. One of the things I have found, especially when I'm working with prisoners, because my first instinct when I met some of the prisoners was how grateful I was not to know what they had done, because I have my prejudices about different kinds of crimes, especially those against children and women. But what I found, and what I think is important for all of us, is love and respect. And these individuals, in so many, many cases, did not exist or did not grow up in a place where they were loved or respected. They were never considered worthy. And so they grew up not being worthy. And the fundamental thing that all religions teach, I believe, is love, compassion, and justice. And as Cornel West has said many times, justice is love expressed in public. We also have to be very conscientious about how we exhibit our love in public, how we do compassion in public. And we must come from a place of humility and a lack of arrogance. I know that our media is bad at reporting accurately about religions because the nature of our education system in this country in particular allows us and encourages us not to be critical thinkers, not to question. And much like the Buddha said, question everything. Do not believe anything just because someone told you. Find out for yourself. And unfortunately, people living in the United States are not very curious about what goes on around the world. They're more likely to focus simply on their local communities and not really ever experience the richness and the beauty of all the diversity that can be found with connected communities. You know, there's nothing more beautiful than this city where I live. It's considered to be the most diverse city in the United States. There are nearly 200 different languages spoken here, and you can drive anywhere within the community and find yourself in a different country, at least partaking of all these various cultures. And there's a richness to living that way. And there's an awakening of understanding because your next door neighbor could be a Muslim. The other people across the street could be Buddhist or Hindu. And we find these various communities building and growing and coming together in order to help each other. And this is how we all must consider focusing on how we spread our teachings, how we come together to understand the differences. I was fortunate to go to Malaysia, which is a country that is 60% Muslim. And I recognized when I got there that because of the conditioning I'd received in the media, I didn't know what to expect. I was quite uncomfortable at first until I realized how diverse the community was. Even though the laws about Islam were very strict for its practitioners, there were Christians, there were Hindus, there were Buddhists, and everybody celebrated each other's holidays, and they all did this together. So it's a community that had an extreme level of harmony around religion that we in the West really need to focus on, as well as our inclination towards colonialism of co-opting teachings from other countries and trying to make them our own without honor to or recognition of the contributors. So I know I haven't spoken so much about the conflicts because my attention is always focused on embracing, including, welcoming, and harmony. Because I have to recognize if I get involved in trying to solve other people's conflicts, it'll never happen. But what I can do is model another way of being in the world so that we are able to help each other, that we can just come together in love, compassion, and justice, and really use our teachings as becoming the embodiment of our teachings so that we're able to speak to each other in a way that I believe truly crosses all teachings. Thank you very much.